Hello everyone, welcome back to Blake the Visual Novel. Sorry it's been a while. Um, I was preoccupied with a lot of stuff and life got in the way. So yeah. I don't have much time left on this game, I don't think. That's another reason why I didn't make a video Saturday. Also, if you may notice, the time on my computer is always 2 hours behind or 2 hours ahead. It's around 3 something right now, so keep that in mind. It's just in here. You have the books? Blake chuckled and scanned the titles. They didn't look neat. Every book was a different height and width. Each one had a different colored sleeve. This is a concept I learned from a forgotten era. Jonathan couldn't help but let slip a smirk. He clutched a book by its spine and tilted it towards him. The book released a faintly audible click. Jonathan gave a wink as the bookshelf moved to the side, revealing a hidden door. Down in the clandestine room, he housed 2 computers and the other technical instruments that Blake never seen before. Old TVs, and a typewriter, and an old rotary phone, and blueprints. Take a seat. The 2 machines were on standby mode, so there was no waiting around for them to load up. What is this place? Where do you get all these things from? This is where I keep my inventions, prototypes, and backup equipment. I always thought it would be useful to hold onto some items as they could be put to good use. First things first. Jonathan poured some of the liquid from the beer bottle onto a container and then clicked it into machine, then was busy tapping away on his phone. This little invention can tell you information about ingredients and the breakdown of nutrients, as well as read calories. It also works with materials. My, the reader says this liquid contains hypnorol. No wonder you didn't hear anything. Someone drugged me? But how? I don't want to alarm you, but I would guess that you have a beer most Fridays, so they were counting on an observed habit. Observed? It is a possibility. Let's check the security cam for your apartment. Hopefully, we'll be able to see who was there. I might shed some light on everything. If I've calculated this correctly, this one should be the camera I spotted on the wall opposite your door. Okay, here we are. It's locked. Nothing I can't handle. Oh, fuck. Jonathan smirked and opened the drawer underneath the desk. He took out a small handheld rectangular machine which had no definable markings on it. I call her Machine. He connected the device to the laptop, clicked a few buttons, and the device started to make a whirring noise. Beep. This is why you need to get out more. This kind of looks like a freaking picture from the Resident Evil 2 remake, the laboratory. But then where would you be without this old man's kooky devices? Now, we just need to choose the date. 23rd of March, wasn't it? Yeah, that's the one. They watched the footage and both began to look concerned. Nothing? Maybe it's looped. How could there be no movement at all evening? Jonathan checked the recording from previous days leading up to the owl theft and still nothing. Looks like someone has tampered with the footage somehow. This isn't the original. Can we get the original? It depends. But either way, it's beyond my capabilities. We'd need help. We know that Max is a hacker. She may be able to assist Lee. Lee is another whose knowledge goes way beyond my own. They could be an option should we wish to delve deeper. Someone has gone to a lot of trouble to cover up who they are. For now, I don't think we are going to find the answer. Try your best not to worry. Go and get some rest. Maybe give it a few days and then we can ask Max or Lee if they can help us. He gave me a reassuring squeeze on the shoulder. Word had already spread around the office that Blake could be Jonathan's long-lost son. No one had the stones to ask Blake about the gossip. They were all treading lightly around the subject, but Blake sensed the chatter. The owl incident in the poem felt like a strange and distant memory. Looking up from the daydream, Blake noticed Chris was standing by him, just staring. How long had he been there? How did he not feel the quiver of the building's structure as Chris galumped over? Blake felt a shudder down his spine. How's it going? How's it going? I have some analytics for you to run through when you get a moment. Mr. Gourdain said he is keen to get the ball rolling. Chris handed over the copy with care as if it were made of thin glass. More paper. The paper was as crinkled as the crumpled veins of laziness on Chris's shirt. Blake considered derisively. Thanks. Mr. Gourdain? Well, the other Mr. Gourdain. Wait, no. Not that I mean there's two. I'm sorry, I didn't mean. People said that Jonathan is your... Chris stopped rambling. He looked worried and panicked, and as he realized he'd slipped up, the secret was out. Brush it off. It's okay, don't worry. I know there's a rumor going around right now. Jonathan also suggested you and I to get together outside of work to go through our projects. So do you mind if I come over to yours? Great, I can bring Marv, my dog, with me too. Great. Sounds great to me. Tonight it is. Okay, then. Blake pulled a perplexed face as Chris's mountainous frame hobbled off, and he wondered whether Chris had always been a Hulk or just really into weightlifting. How many hours a day would you have to lift weights to achieve that? Maybe he used nanobites like freaking, Senator Armstrong did. Tryptophobia arm. I can't wait for Ultra Assault. I'm going to win a medal this year. I can feel it. Can you just imagine how amazing that would be? You're going to be eating my dust at the Red Dragon course, just like last year. I won't because you're a lizard butt. Come on then, out with the punchline. You'll be the one who's dragging behind. Oh my god. No, just no. Are you planning on taking part this year, Blake? I always have the best intentions to. I enjoy the events and everything in Ultra Assault Month, but tend to lose track of what's going on. I don't think my character has ever been higher than level 10. I prefer watching the live finals rather than taking part. You could always come to some class with me and Orlo. Orlo had already zoned out and gone back to his work at this point. No reaction or look upwards at the sound of his name. Leo, however, looked to be listening intently, as though he wanted to say something. As in, they have dedicated workout classes for this game. Yeah, it's nice. Everyone gets together to increase their levels, and it gives a proper community vibe, rather than seeing each other just as opponents. How about you, Lee? Do you play? Me? Oh yeah, I will be playing this year. I came fourth 2 years ago. No way. Seriously? Lee nodded shyly, then he tapped his touchboard and brought up an image of him with his medal. That's totally Vin! Orlo appeared from behind his computer screen. Not a real word. I'm talking to an Ultra Assault finalist. Max took the touchboard for a closer look and shrieked in delight. The loud noise brought Orlo back into the conversation. Pretty cool. Aw, thanks guys. How did you get it? I mean, I bet you train every day, right? Yeah, of course. I'm more long distance and speed training, so I went to Ultra Assault bonus running groups. I leveled up my character's speed and agility enough to be in the live finals for the desert course within 12 days. What? So mega. I made sure I practiced on the game's demo courses, so I knew what kind of obstacles my character would face. It was good fun. I see you have the Ultra Training Watch. Oh, just so Vin. Still, not a real word. Yeah, I know. Ultrasalt month is a few weeks away, but I wanted to get the grips with it before this year's competition. It gives you better updates on leveling your character, and you can add in what exercise suits you, and more accurate reminders for how much more exercise you need to do. My Ultra V4 still does the trick for me. Don't hate the player. Conversation died down, everyone back to their desks. Blake noticed a tablet pin left behind on his desk. A pink pin with a chewed end, just like the one at his apartment. I'm just gonna say it's Max. Hey, anyone left your pin here? Oh, that's mine. Oh, it's Orlo. Eric, how many times have I told you to stop chewing the ends of those, Orlo? You get a shock doing that. So maybe it's Orlo? I still think it's Chris, but I don't know. I'll be fine. Watch you be wrong, though. You got a minute? Come in, come in. One hand gestured for Blake to come into the room, whilst the other was pushing a paper to the side of his desk. He was happy to see Blake. How is everything going? Have you heard any further from our mystery owl thief? Nothing so far, but Orlo left his pin on my desk. It's the same as the pin we found in my apartment. I see. We still need a further proof before we can assume it was him. I think it's time we involve one of your colleagues in assisting us by hacking into the CCTV camera tonight. Considering you know them much better than I do, it would be rather less intimidating. It might be best you invite them. I'm gonna invite Lee, because Max, I don't know about her. Perfect, let me know if Lee agrees to help us. I've been meaning to ask, how have you been doing in general? All good, thanks for asking. All good. Oh yeah. Brilliant, that's what I want to hear. So, Jonathan and I want to check the CCTV at my apartment. I wonder if you might be able to help us out at all. What do you need to check for? Someone broke into my apartment. I had a break-in in my apartment. Jonathan's helping me look into it. No wuzzers, I'm happy to help. So how did it go? Lee is happy to help us. Great, my car will pick you both up at 20:00. Blake headed through the main lobby at the end of his working day. Oh. Well, good afternoon, Blake. Andy had the most endearing smile and temperament. His nose and eyes crinkled as he flashed his hand in a welcoming gesture. Everyone thought Andy was an awesome guy. He knew all the staff members' names and little details about them, but every now and then he'd forget small things such as, how's the doggo? What's the little floof's name again? Oh yes, of course, and it made him seem more human. His couriers had done a great job, as it was rare for a droid to be so highly regarded and liked by staff members. Good day? Oh yes, it's been a long one, but we're nearly there. A affable chuckle followed as Andy glanced at the time on the wall. His voice was confident, tone was pleasant, and they'd given him an accent that's from neither here nor there. Andy rested his elbows on the desk and leaned forward in a hushed voice. I have something I wanted to ask you. What's up? If you don't mind me asking, Lee's on your floor, so you must see him sometimes, right? Yeah, he sits near me. Tell me, how's he getting on up there? He's getting more confident, which he is, because he was really quiet. His confidence seems to be growing. That's brilliant, Blake. You don't know how glad I am to hear that. Thank you. The door buzzed. Blake wondered what on earth he was doing, but he lifted his phone to the door panel to let Chris into his apartment. He had a fleeting thought where he wondered if the dog would be abnormally large too. Silent barking unleashed the moment the door opened. What should be a small dog? Chris had to hunch down to avoid hitting his head on the doorframe. The dog came bounding into the room, his big jaw opened and an excited smile, but luckily the dog was a normal size for a French bulldog. Aww. Come in, have a seat. Chris sat down on the sofa and made it look smaller than it was. He looked a little uncomfortable. Blake imagined everything was much bigger in his apartment to accommodate. This is Marv. He's very friendly. He looks like it. Stranger. He can talk? Marv sniffed at Blake's leg. Stranger, non-hostile. The dog stated this in a happy and hyperactive voice, and the collar flashed. Oh, it's like kind of like, I get it. Bio voice vocalizer collars are a new technology. The device detects brainwaves and vocalizes Marv's needs when they are thought, and helps me understand him as a being. I see. You can also play a game with him, and if you do, he'll let you pet him as a reward. Play? You want to play the game with Marv? Yes. Okay, sounds like fun. You have to take it in turns to choose a number, and whoever reaches 33 wins. You can only choose a number that's 1 4 numbers higher than the last number that was chosen. So if Marv started and I chose 1, you could only choose 2, 3, 4, or 5. Let's do this. Reach 33. Who's going to first at choosing a number? I'm gonna let Marv pick. Marv picks. Marv goes first and chooses between 1 and 4. I choose 3, so 4, 5, 6. 6. 6. I choose 8. 11. Shit. 11. I choose 13. 15. 15. I choose 18. 21. I choose 23. 25. I choose 28. 30. Oh, he's gonna win. I'm gonna lose. Ah, I choose 33. I knew he'd win. Marv wins. That's okay. Nah, it's okay. No thanks. No worries, good try. I think he's cheating anyway. I didn't take you as the type to have a pet. I like the idea of caring and loving for a more dependent species, as if it were a part of your own family. They do not have the tools to build and create like us, but our bonds are precious. That's true. Marv needs to use the bathroom. Blake nearly spat his tea out. What was that? After Marv was sorted, Blake and Chris worked on their project for a couple of hours. It was Jonathan's car to pick him up. He had nearly forgotten. Oh, fuck. Oh, Chris, I'm sorry, but I have to get going now. Let's continue this tomorrow at work. No problem. I look forward to it. Chris left with Marv. Jonathan's car arrived on the dot to pick up Blake. And Lee was already inside the vehicle, looking captivated by everything. This house is stunning. Jonathan showed off his bookcase trick, and Lee was impressed. These archaic items are wonderful, Mr. Gourdain. Archaic. Lee, I understand that this is a rather unwanted request bringing you here, but would you kindly not mention anything about this clandestine endeavor to any other person, please? Of course, sir. This is strictly confidential. Here's my computer for where you work your magic on. Jonathan took out his jot pad, flipped through it, and then entered the password into his own computer. This looks like a sturdy machine, to be honest. I'm kind of thankful it's not an antique, otherwise this would have been a challenging task. Lee got to work, focused on the matter at hand. This is unusual. Someone has encrypted the data. It's like they've put extra effort into making sure you don't access it. This code is unlike anything I've seen before. Blake, would you kindly take a look and see if you can help me override this security add-on? Sure, I'll give it a go. Oh! It looks like binary code. Blake, can you search for a binary translator on your phone and put it in the numbers so we can find out the code to unlock this? Sure, no problem. Input the answers to the code here and press enter. Okay. So... okay. 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. This doesn't look right. Do you want to try again? Yes. I thought I did it right. Okay. 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. Space 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. No, I'm not trying again. I don't know what you want me to do. No. Looks like this code is 32IT. How? I don't... Great we're in. I don't understand. Okay, whatever. Forward to the evening. Okay. All three were closely leaning towards the screen, eager to see what would appear. The footage showed Chris standing outside Blake's door. I knew it was Chris. I knew it was Chris. This can't be. I knew it was probably gonna be Chris or like someone else. Chris took out his phone and stared down at it. Then went black. Someone has wiped the rest of the footage, all of it. This isn't what I expected to see. Thank you, Lee, thank Lee for his help. Thank you for your help on this. We both really appreciate it. Thank you again for your assistance here. You've done a fine job. Nick is out the front and will take you home safely now. Wait, who's Nick? Oh, sorry, that's the name of my car. You named your car? Well, I've had him for a few years now, and he's very reliable. I suppose I get attached to things that are around for a while. Okay, whatever. 32ITAG2. It's got to be a code for something. It's been put there on purpose, but a code for what? Maybe a city code? No, a lock somewhere perhaps? Blake shrugged with no answer to give. A determined gesture. No matter, we will figure this out in time. So, what do you want to do about Chris? Well, I can't say I'm too happy with the results. We must tread carefully here. It greatly disappoints me to find Chris has somehow been mixed up in this. I didn't expect it to be him. It isn't. Never settle for the first answer you receive. Okay. We cannot presume that the puzzle is complete when we don't know how many pieces there are. I must recall your HD devices and postpone the project until further notice, whilst this is under our investigation. It is a painful irony that even once I possess Chris's HD device, we will not be able to check the activity due to the secure demeanor of the machinery. I think it would be best I talk to Chris about what we've just witnessed and find out what he was doing. I agree. But that might be a bad idea, though. Good idea. I'd like to see what he has to say about this. The day had dragged and felt longer than ever. Time to relax. News on, shoes off. Couch, non-drugged, beer in hand, he hoped. In the top right hand corner was a small image which mirrored Blake. He cautiously edged closer for a clearer view. The man on the screen couldn't possibly be studying him. It must be a part of the program or an error with the station. He's shaking the hand of a giant dude. Could that be Chris? That's creepy. But this was unlike any show Blake had ever seen before. And why was his image in the corner? Was the stranger taking notes on him? Blake slowly waved his hand to one side, and the corner image mirrored him. The man on the screen started to look worried and confused. It became paramount for Blake to capture what was happening. What if this was connected to what had been happening recently? Without evidence, he would be incapable of proving it. Blake held up the phone from his trouser pocket and took a picture of the man on his Z-screen. Immediately, the man stared back at him, became panic-stricken, and started desperately pressing buttons. When that failed, he shouted for someone. However, no sound emanated from the speakers. Before Blake could get his phone to record the events, another man emerged from outside the periphery. Instant cut off, and the scene went back to the news. What? The experience is more than enough to make even the stories of people crumble into a paranoid, tin hat wearing conspiracist. Blake hurriedly switched the power off before unplugging every single electrical device he could find within the flat. The license plate was the code that they were talking about. Shirt buttoned, fly done up, sunglasses and headphones on, blood pumping music to start the day. There was nothing better. The sky was a fresh blue with no clouds in sight. This was a rare luxury in the city of New Stone. Blake walked around the outside of the park, and it was a great day for it. The license plate has the numbers that they were talking about. To the right, a silver car was sat waiting. The car plates 32IT-AG2 recognized it from somewhere. It was a code they had got from the CCTV camera. He had to know if they were connected. Blake peered into the car to catch a glimpse of the driver. Out of nowhere, he felt a needle-like sting penetrate the small of his back. Oh, well. Almost immediately, he began to find it hard to breathe, and a lightheaded dizziness took over. Someone was here watching him. They knew he was onto them, and getting close to the truth, they must have drugged him with a needle or a dart. He scanned the area, lots of people on their morning commute, but none who looked suspicious. Fumbling for his phone to call Jonathan, he began to wheeze harder. He has to pick up. He couldn't tell if anyone could hear him, but he could make out a figure as they rapidly approached him. Jonathan, someone poisoned. Sterile white light brought Blake back as he awakened in the hospital. Jonathan helped Blake check out and assisted him into the car. He didn't look worried. In fact, he looked a little amused. What's happening? Was Jonathan the bad guy? How old are you? What? 31? I haven't lost my memory. Yeah, so in your 31 years on this planet, have you not once been stung by a bee? Oh! He got stung by a bee. Rubbing his head, Blake seemed a little dazed, but not too bothered. You had an anaphylactic reaction. Luckily, it wasn't too severe. The hospital said a first aid officer at the park found you just as you passed out and administered an immunization vaccine. You'd be completely dandy from here on out. No wonder I'm buzzing, eh? Well, apart from the cheesy jokes, you seem to be back to normal. Okay, this is funny. Starting to feel more with it, Blake remembered what he had been doing before the sting. The car! There was a silver car on my way to work. The plate was 321TAG2. It can't have been just a coincidence. You're right. We knew it had to mean something. And I caught a glimpse of the driver. He looked pretty rough. Big scar from down one side of his face. We should wait in the same location, time tomorrow. I was about to just the same. In the interim, I will investigate the plate and brief you on my findings tomorrow. Anyway, let's get you back home. No. I've got work to do. And you're feeling up for it? Yeah, I'm all good. Alright then. On the drive to work, Blake caught Jonathan up on what happened to his e-screen. Orlo was peeping out from the side of his desk, and his manky, chewed pen was on the ground by Blake's desk, reminding him of the madness that had been following him around lately. He chose to ignore Orlo's question. Orlo continued to stare at him until he couldn't take it anymore. Why does it matter? Did I miss something? I didn't see anything. Have you seriously never been immunized before? 3 questions in a row. You know what that means. Question match. Oh my god, they're so irritating. When when you have to keep asking questions, whoever breaks the chain loses. Sounds easy. Let's go, you go first. Oof. She got you there, buddy. Oldest trick in the book. Better luck next time, sweetie. But I didn't know we started. Max gave a cheeky wink and Lee laughed a little. A hint of nervousness was there, but he did well to try and hide it. Lee hurriedly looked back down at his computer, hoping no one would notice his face going a light shade of red. Blake Orlo, your turn. Okay. No one-word answers, no repeating, no statements posing as questions. I don't know. Judge me gets the final say. Go. Blake thought carefully about his choice of words. I'm gonna do this. I remember you were glue. Eh? What do you say? You lose. You might need some practice. Fine, whatever. Oh. I didn't know that. Whatever. Doesn't matter, you've got a spare one. Blake couldn't help but let a smile escape the corner of his lip as he shook his head at the two jokesters. Max and Orlo chuckled and snorted, escalating each other's laughter until they were all laughed out. Blake checked his phone. God, this game has a hard time loading stuff. It's not even that, like, demanding of a game. The rest include small print. Okay, dear customer, please accept this email as a form of apology from Evan to Corporate Bank. She's March. Oh, okay. The rest included small print, which advised the puny offer was available for the next 10 days. Not that Blake was remotely roped in by it. Now that there was proof that this random event was unrelated to the real problems at hand. Isn't it strange how you can only get immunized when you're having a bad reaction to something? It's a shame that there isn't an immunizer for all your bad jokes. Oof, Max hack smirked by Team Killer Orlo. You don't have to be so histamine about it. Ah, it hurts. At that moment, Blake received a notification on his computer to return to his HD device to Jonathan's office. Blake, it's gone. He saw Chris and Jonathan talking. Oh my god. You swear you have no idea, Cal. Who's Cal? Blake's thought. My whole life is indebted to you, I have no reason to upset that balance. What about last week? What were you doing at my son's flat in the early hours of this morning? Last week, after the work drinks, I got a weird message from him asking if he can come and help him. When I got there, he messaged me saying that he sorted it out, whatever it was. My god. I see. God. Whatever. Blake, do you have the HD device? I don't. It's not in my locker. So that makes the both of you. Jonathan sighed and then smiled and nodded to Chris. Chris, that's all I wanted to ask you, and I apologize if I seem intrusive. It's not a problem. If there's anything I can do to help, let me know. Thank you. Jonathan walked Chris to the office door, closing it once the gargantuan figure had left. It was only you and I who knew the intentions to remove the HD devices, or so I thought. But take both. This is rather troublesome indeed. This could mean we're possibly dealing with more than one person here. For now, finding some evidence of the perpetrator or perpetrators is most pertinent. You know, I haven't seen Cory in a while, that one chick who was like creepy. I'm going to need Lee to help with this. Would you mind kindly retrieving Lee from the reception area for me? How do you know he's not at his desk? Jonathan chuckled. It's only a hunch, but a most likely one. I have to find him down there talking to Andy at reception. I have no idea what they needed to talk about, but if you find out, I'd love to know. Andy was sat at the front desk, unexpectedly alone. Hey man, have you seen Lee anywhere? I've got Jonathan looking for him. Oh, no problem. He's just in my quarters. I'll go and get him. In his quarters? The door opened a few minutes later and Lee came rushing out. Blake looked at Lee curiously and then at the door. What's happening in there? Oh, I was just trying to help Andy with fixing his E-screen. If it's broken, I'm sure Jonathan will get him a new one. No, it's okay. Lee scratched the back of his neck and looked uncomfortable. Am I sensing that there's something else going on here? I'm just gonna let it go. I'm not gonna bother him. Jonathan wanted your help with something in his office. Sure, no worries. I'll go right away. He smiled and waved to Andy as he left. That was easy enough. Not feeling up to cooking, Blake decided to stop by Saucy Mama's and pick up whatever. Blake spotted Max sitting alone. Go and say hi. Blake leaned to the side and put his hand up to catch Max's eye. Hey, Max. Ask how she is. Oh, sorry, Blake, I didn't see you there. I'm great, thanks. You? Take a seat if you like. He feigned a smile. There was no reason for him to tell Max what he was going to do. Going to Orlo's tonight to eradicate the infestation of living dead. You want in? She was talking in video game language already. The idea of playing games with Max and Orlo felt like it could be distraction, but he wasn't sure what that was what he needed right now. Not tonight, but another time. Boop, what can I get you two little sweethearts? Do you want another tea or anything to eat? Go on then, I'll have another cup and slice of that banana bread if you have any left. I'll have a peanut butter toast, a piece of cake, and a bluebird beard, please. That comes to 52 bits. Are you paying separately or together? I'll get this. Okay, oh thanks. Blake held out his phone for her to scan. All done, your order is coming right up. No, I think it was sweet tarts. You know, like sweetie pie, but a tart. That's not a thing, though. Yeah, there is. Maybe it is here. Want me to ask her? No. Max leaned in and touched Blake's forearm. Don't do it. Okay, you have my word. Banana bread, huh? Nice choice. I think it might be a bit like banana bread, easy to digest. Not too sickly. Some people love it. Some people think it's gross. Sweet enough, and bananas. She pulled a silly face and then smiled. I like banana bread a lot. Smooth. Oh, he's flirting with her. I didn't realize that. Well, thank you, Blake Ordain. For a moment, she pulled a horrified face. Blake imagined it was the kind of face she'd pull off if she walked in on Orlo naked. I'm sorry, I didn't think there are... Are you planning to go by that name? I'm guessing everyone knows then A. I haven't really thought about it, but if I want in on the inheritance, I suppose I might have to. He pulled a playfully menacing face, which made Max chuckle. Huh, you kill me, Blake. You're a funny guy. She beamed and smiled softly. You've changed. Yeah? In a good way, I mean. It must have turned your world upside down when Jonathan told you he's your dad. I can't imagine what it's like. Yeah, things have been a little crazy. How did he tell you? I don't imagine he invited you to meeting and then just announced it to you in the office. No, he knew the office wasn't the right place. I met up with him here, actually. He was going to tell me if something came up, and he helped me out. Now, when I think back, it makes sense why he was so eager to help. Later that day, he was all like, Blake, I am your father, or something to that effect. I can't remember the exact words he used. Max smiled. That's a great impression. Blake chuckled as the server arrived, doing an impressive balancing act of cups and plates. Help her with the plates. Thank you, Honeycake, but I've got this. That was kind of you to offer to help her. Conversation died down as Max's eyes transfixed onto the banana bread. Is something wrong with it? No, I'm just watching It's just that I'm watching what I eat at the moment. It was hard for Blake not to choke on the bluebeard he'd sipped one moment before, but he managed to force it down his gullet without it going down the wrong way. His chest bobbed up and down as he laughed without audio, and shook his head. Max, you're skinny enough. You don't need to do that. You got me. How do you come up with them so fast? I don't know. I guess there's something very addictive about seeing people smile. Buttered toast was a healthy slather of peanut butter on it. Slightly burnt underneath, but still hot. Sat on a warm plate in front of Blake. He took the knife and cut it down the middle, as his company observed. That's an unusual way to do it. Picking up one half of the toast and eyeing it, Blake gave his reasoning for the precision. Perfect symmetry. I always thought that cutting it the other way would be cutting it from the other side. That, to me, is weird. Both enjoyed their food. Blake observed the people sitting nearby, and no other nuances. Max shot out her phone to get her fix. Mouthful of food, she rushedly chewed to say something. Someone on the archives has claimed that kill VR kill an innocent, and they have proof. Well, it could be true. She placed her phone back down on the table. I don't know how I feel about this. Surely it isn't true. Come on. Load. I guess it depends on what the proof is. Then again, if you're not giving the full story, you can have proof of something and still not have the whole thing. He was starting to sound like Jonathan. I saw the new documentary last night, and I just can't imagine KLVR deviating from their morals. So you think that your documentary is reliable? Let's have a look. A few searches later, and Blake had found the name of the production company on his phone. It says here the production company, Evident Entertainments, are the largest shareholders of CloseX. We all know CloseX are the primary sponsors for KLVR brand image. Their job is to make KLVR look good. Great, if not awesome. You're right, I guess only time will tell. They talked some more, then headed their separate ways for the night. The next morning, Jonathan and Blake had an early morning stakeout. I've done a little digging into this car plate. Jonathan took out the jot pad from his breast pocket, flipped a few pages. The car is registered to a... Flip. Mr. Trout, and the registered address is in this town. However, I checked the address, and the property belongs to Mr. and Mrs. Brown in a highly affluent part of Newston. Admittedly, I could be wrong, but this looks more like a fake address. It seems that whoever sent you that email has coaxed you down to a rather recondite rabbit hole. Blake took the reins and conducted a quick search through his phone. Tap tap, huff tap. Your hunch looks spot on. Mrs. Brown has an ImageNation account. You can see numerous pictures of her husband's topiary art on here, but have a look at this one in particular. Blake showed Jonathan the image. It showed Mr. and Mrs. Brown smiling in front of the large angel topiary. In the description it said, "Our little slice of heaven, Oz's biggest passion project at home." He scrolled down to another image which showed a gardening charity event that Mr. Brown had recently organized and raised a bunch of bits for. Oz Brown isn't our guy. That's not the man I saw in the car. He's not in any of these pictures. You're getting the hang of this detective work very well. I need to know who's behind this. I have to. I need to know who's behind all of this. I can't help but feel like there's something we've overlooked. Well, the truth cannot hide forever. It might not have even been a car plate. I'm sorry I dragged you out this morning. It's fine. It was great sitting in the car just watching the world go by. Like a real stakeout. We both just have to be vigilant. Is something on your mind? I didn't tell anyone, but it seems that some people in the office might know I'm your son. I suppose that's always likely to happen. I'm rather segregated from most of the office, but I imagine your colleagues knowing that I'm your father affects you? I don't mind people knowing. Jonathan let a smile slip. Neither am I, son. Beep. Blake checked his phone. He showed the message to Jonathan. Meet me tomorrow outside the abandoned computer store at 6 p.m. alone. This message contains 2 attachments. Trout GPG, Sam GPG. This one says it's from me. And there are 2 images attached. Do you think we can safely open them somehow? Let's take every precaution. Messine would be best for this. Took out Messine and plugged it directly into the charging port of Blake's phone and extracted the file. It took 3 minutes for Jonathan to open the images that had been attached to the email. Oh. That's the guy that was in that one picture that was shaking the dude's hand. I thought he was like, Chris or something, but no. A square-faced, thick-lipped, middle-aged man who wore a scruffy-looking, dirty brown jacket. He looked like a dodgy tech trader who sold faculty 3D printers. Blake studied his face. Especially a picture of a craniate gill-bearing freshwater fish. That's him. The guy I saw in the car, he doesn't look like a good man, if you ask me. Come on. The man in the second detachment looked familiar, but Blake couldn't think where from. He's the guy that was watching Blake in the, E-screen. Taking out his phone, he started up the What's It app. Took a picture of the image from Jonathan's computer screen and waited for the app to load, which results from the web. A news article came up with a face of recognition match. It was Sam Stevens, the man who had been on the news as a missing person last week. Oh. He hadn't recognized him in the attachment due to the stubble and bedraggled look, compared to the pictures shown in the news reports. Nerves suddenly bolted down through Blake's body. The idea of someone trying to frame him for this lit up in his mind. He seriously hoped that the owl incident was an unparalleled occurrence, and maybe, just maybe, this person wanted Blake to help them find Sam. He caught himself using one of Jonathan's weird words and cringed. There's a picture on the wall in both images, and they match. This Trout fellow is certainly involved somehow. What was all this got to do with me? I never met either of these people before. Yes, why tell you this information? Why now? It is with a deep-seated feeling of unrest when I say this. But I think whoever is behind this is inviting you to partake in their mind games. So far, they have coerced you into the involvement of their misdeeds, trespassed into your online ID, and taunted you through the means of poetry. None of the aforementioned events resemble any iota of benevolent impulsion. You're right, I think. But I can't just ignore the fact that someone knows where Sam Stevens is. And then I'll go with you. You can't. It says I have to go alone. I can't put you in danger. We don't know how many people are involved. It's a public place. I'll be okay, I'm sure. Him being a die, I'd probably follow him anyway. Acknowledge, but any worries of misadventure, you message me right away. I'll be there. Got it. Oh, and put my car on speed dial. I'll have it parked near the area, just in case you need a quick getaway. Good idea. Thanks, that's a good idea. Recent days have been so eventful, too eventful. The cryptic messages, the disturbing events, and most importantly, his reunion with his dad, which had made him feel like he'd found a part of himself again. Many hours passed, and Blake slept like what could only be explained as a baby log. The chiming persistence of his phone woke him up. It was 1 p.m. All the strange occurrences had left him wary. 6 p.m. came around quickly. Blake filled his spare time with a visit to the communal gym in his complex, shower, and lunch before leaving. Trying to avoid eye contact, he spotted Hari. Oh, that's what her name was, Hari. walking in his direction. As she got closer, he realized it was inevitable they would exchange niceties. Oh god, she's creepy. Hiya! I am so excited that we are going to be to the cinema. I was thinking we could see Gloomy Night. It wasn't a coincidence she had to come down the road. She fully expected Blake to be there. That's creepy. I don't like that. It was like she knew It was like she knew she was meeting up with him and they had made plans. He was being fucked with again. I think Hari might be a suspect in this too. Most likely. This isn't the new one though. They are doing a special showing of the original remake. The original remake? How is such an abomination allowed to exist? She wanted to see that terrible, moody-looking drama franchise about a yeti that falls for a teenage girl. No surprise there. He never arranged to meet her, but assumed the message had somehow been sent to her in his name. He needed to know how and why without sounding like he'd lost his mind. So, what are you doing when we arranged to meet? My work, of course. Hari was unfazed by the mini interrogation, clearly too preoccupied with excitement about the movie, and now Blake knew his work email had somehow been hacked. This was getting out of hand fast, but he had to go along with it for the time being. Let's go. Friendly. Okay, let's go. I'm not gonna fucking watch this. This looks weird. I'm gonna leave the cinema. I'm going to the plumber. Oh, to the bathroom. Oh, would you mind getting me some Sparkle Nova candy when you're out there? Sure. Wait, what was that? What'd you say? They don't have it here, though. You'll have to go across the road to get some. Okay. Blake exited the screening, took a leak, and then instead of wasting part of his life, he stayed outside for some fresh air. Blake stood under the cover from the rain so he could check his phone. The curtain of water unveiled a silver car waiting in the taxi lane, just steps away from the front door. It looked like the one he saw at the park. Yet it was Trout. He was a taxi assistant? It wasn't obvious from looking at the car, but that was a taxi, although most of them weren't. Blake knew he would have to follow the car and see where it went. He showed his location to Jonathan's car and summoned it. I'm gonna have to tell Hari I have to go. Blake decided it would be best to let Hari know an emergency came up and that he needed to leave immediately. As he was writing the message, Hari stepped outside. Is she going to get in the taxi with the one dude? Hari, look, something has came up and I need to go now. I'll come with you. Where are we going? No. No, you can't come with me. Why not? You didn't tell me where you were going. Blake watched as the woman ran up to the taxi and jumped in. They were about to leave. He had to act now. Jonathan's car showed up moments later. He shielded himself from the rain with his coat and made a run to the car's shelter. Hari followed. Oh my god, Hari, get away. So I can come with you? No. No. I won't be any trouble. Trout's car started to pull away. Hari, you can't come with me. This isn't... I'm not getting out unless you tell me why you're leaving and where to. What is wrong with her? I have to follow someone. Blake couldn't leave it any longer, otherwise the car would go out of sight. Here's a sigh of adrenaline. Am I really going to do this? Do what? Look, just be quiet and try not to touch anything. Well, that's not very welcoming. Oh my god, you're an airhead. I didn't ask you to come along. Okay. Following the car for half an hour, they headed into Newston. The car stopped outside a large house, and the woman jumped out. She let out of the car. That was a good sign. I don't know. Then why did we follow her here? We're not. We're following the driver. Oh. Are you an undercover cop or something? No, it's a long story. I just need to know where he's going. The car started on its way again. The sun had retreated, so Blake was hoping Trout would finish his shift. Otherwise, this could go on all night. All the anticipation and waiting was giving him a headache, but it didn't deter him. Patience paid off after another 45 minutes. They ended up west in the correct part of Newstone. Or as they called it, Newstown. Crime was rife, female fatalities and prostitutes aplenty, and the tech was behind the times. Blake considered that Jonathan probably acquired some of his more vintage contraptions and items from this part of town, but couldn't imagine him having any connection to this area. They arrived at the entrance of the docks. When Trout exited his car, Blake found a hill behind the docks to park on and peered down to observe. Trout made his way to the entrance of the warehouse. This is where he was residing. Initially, Blake's instinct was to scope out the area, take his time, and carefully plan his next move. But time was of the essence. Maybe Sam was in there. Stay here, I need to go check this out. I won't be long. Okay. I mean, this could be dangerous. If I'm not back here in 30 minutes, call the police and don't leave the car. Got it? Got it. Blake clenched his fist. His heart was pounding as hard as he envisioned knocking on the door. He took a deep breath and tried to remain calm as he approached the warehouse. The door opened before Blake had the chance to announce his presence. Trout looked behind Blake cautiously to check if anybody was watching. Whatever unscrupulous activities he had been involved in, almost in his lifetime, they had taken their toll. His eyes were aged and tired. He looked like a man with very little patience. He stared at Blake, got out his phone and held it up beside, looking at the picture on the screen, then glanced at Blake again. Trout, you're the UVA guy, ain't ya? He told me you'd be coming here. His voice reminded Blake of this crunching noise of gravel underneath a still-moving truck. Trout gave an eyes-lowered, knowing look, prowled his temple, and then pointed at Blake. What? None of this made sense. With his mouth slightly agape, Trout's tongue ran slowly across the back of his lower teeth, like a cobra enticing its prey to the snake pit. He uttered, "Come in." If the back of Blake's neck tensed up, taking a deep breath, he tried to zen as much as he could. About to decline Trout's invite with some hasty excuse, Trout had already disappeared inside. Careful of walking into a trap, Blake appeared inside the warehouse. His contemplated his choice of going in unarmed. It was stupid. He couldn't take Trout even if he wanted to. He was all muscle, no fat. But he had a choice, no choice now. Alert, Blake inspected and scrutinized the area and followed the clinking noises coming from the corner of the room. Trout pushed a mug of tea into Blake's hand as he entered and then leaned against the counter in a relaxed manner. "I wouldn't drink that tea." Blake stared at the tea. At least he was armed with boiling water. "Have you been sending me the messages?" "What messages? Why would I be sending you messages? Are you fucking with me?" Trout's face contorted and he screwed up as he spoke in a sloth-like manner. It was as if every word was a heavy boulder being pushed out the way in order to get to the next. Blake was lost. "Where's Sam Stevens?" Blake's grip tightening around the handle of the mug. "I did my bit. The body's been dealt with. But let's get this one thing straight. You do your bit, and I do mine. If I see you tailing me again, the deal's off. Now, let's stop at all this fucking around. You got my moolah?" Visibly agitated, Trout tensed his shoulder and tilted his head to the side, losing a disconcertingly loud crack in his neck. Blake placed his cup down on the table. If things were about to get escalated, he might need both hands. "Where is Sam Stevens? Take me to him now." "Mate, I can't take you to his body. It's gone. I got rid of it, just like I told you. I did my bit. What do you think you're playing at? Why the fuck would I give you money? Who told you to kill him?" "What?" "I didn't kill him." Your brother did." "Brother? Is Chris his brother? Who?" "This is a fucking joke, right? He said you'd be coming here, and then you came, acting like you don't know shit at all." "Who killed him?" "I thought you were having me at the first one, but judging by your face, you don't have a fucking clue what's going on, do you?" "No." Trout said this with a sly tone that dripped with slime. A guttural laugh rose out from him again. The low-bellied laughter faded off as he handed the phone over to Blake. "This is what your bro did." "Oh no." Trout looked proud of himself, like he was holding the ace, and then did his disconcerting tongue thing again. Blake took the phone and looked at the image on the screen. Immediately his stomach tightened in reaction to the sight. He was too late to save the missing man. A knife retrieved from Sam's lifeless body, slumped on a chair. Oh. Dang. Trout was in the background, walking towards the edge of the screen, meaning someone else was behind the lens. That's one fucked up family you got there, mate. Aha! Stay calm. Now, go sort at my money with your fucking brother and tell him to pay me pronto, got it? I don't have your money. And who is his brother? Are you chatting me, boy? Blake heard a click, then saw the light shine off of the switchblade knife Trout had taken out. Oh no. Get the mug and throw it. I don't really want to go back to the Bly, but you answer me back again and I fucking swear I'll cut your fucking tongue out and stick it up between your meat pouches. Oh. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, I do. That's horrifying. Hari, you freaking idiot. Put the knife down. Hari, what are you doing? Hari, what the fuck are you doing here? That's what I'm wondering. Hari, what are you doing? I told you to stay put. Trout swung around and grabbed Hari, knife to her throat. I knew it was gonna happen. Hari is not smart. Oh, she doesn't look very fazed by it. Who the fuck are you and why the fuck are you stalking around my warehouse? She doesn't seem very creeped out. Hari stood still and said nothing. Trout, let her go. She has nothing to do with this. Trout raised his voice. Spittle flew everywhere as his rage increased. I said, who the fuck are you? Let me and my friend go, and we'll leave you be unharmed. Hari's tone was firm and calm. So is she an agent or something? Is she like just that's her persona, is being all like ditzy and weird, but in reality she's actually like this? She was completely a different person. Unharmed? Watch her be like a robot or something. Unharmed? If you haven't noticed, love, you're not in a fucking position to be given. Before he could say another word, Hari slipped out of his grasp, and in a couple of swift moves, she knocked the knife out of his hand and caught it. She's a freaking agent, isn't she? Twirling around behind him faster than he could process, she hit him in the back of the head with the knife pommel. He fell into a pile onto the ground. You go, Hari. I was wrong about you. Did you just kill him? No, he's just out cold. We should leave before he wakes up. Okay then. I stopped him from killing you. He wasn't going to kill me. How do you know? I don't. That's not the point. What's more, he could have killed you. You did some crazy fast moves back there. I'm sorry, it looked like you were going to get hurt. I was just protecting you. Huh, well, thank you. No worries. I probably just overthought all of that. I don't think she's a, I don't think she's an agent. She's just that. I'm gonna drop her off. Let's head back. I'll drop you off on the way. Okay. There wasn't much talking for the rest of the journey back. They both needed some time to process what had happened. Blake made sure to get her back home safely. As he sat in his car alone, the dread sunk in. He'd failed. He had let Sam die. It's not your fault, Blake. Not only that, but apparently by the hands of his flesh and blood. The revelation they had a brother was too much to comprehend. The burning question was it all a big misunderstanding, or had Jonathan kept a secret from him? Did he have a brother that Jonathan failed to mention? The picture Jonathan had given him on the USB didn't show a brother. Would Jonathan have gone to the trouble of editing him out of it? That didn't seem right. Unless at that time, his brother hadn't been born yet. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this, I'm gonna go ahead and call it for a day here because I'm getting kind of tired. And apparently there's more to this game than I thought there was. So, yeah. I will see you in the next video with my PowerCats, and I'm sorry again for not uploading correctly. Hopefully the game will be ending soon, rather than keep droning on. I am trying to like this game, but it has a lot of issues. Like, it takes forever to load, even though it's not a high demanding game. And it just freezes constantly. And even before I played the game, it's making my computer have issues too. It was very strange. Anyway, I will be leaving now, and I hope to see you in another video. And don't forget to like, comment, or share. And if you want to follow my social media, links are in the description.